Hello. Today we are back at it again with the blue net, except it's not a blue net, now it's a white net because I had to give the blue net back. So I went out and actually bought a net. So we've upgraded. The mission is simple. We're gonna catch some frogs. I'm gonna tell you facts about frogs. Like and subscribe, or next time you have coffee, you'll find a frog at the bottom of your coffee cup, but you won't find it until it's too late. Few notes before we get in there. First of all, thank you everyone who has watched my last video about crawfish. The response has been really nice and I really appreciate it. I appreciate all your comments and likes. It's nice to have good feedback, so thank you. I'm wearing the appropriate frog catching attire. As you can see, I have frogs on my shirt. And I do have the signature glitter Crocs. Actually, I'm gonna put them in sport mode right now so I don't forget. Stay tuned to the end of the video. I'll give you some sneak peeks on future content I plan on doing. And also I'm gonna try to catch a frog by hand. Hang out if you wanna see that. As a biologist, I've touched some gross things in my time. I've held gross things, I've dissected gross things, I've smelled a lot of gross things. But for some reason, frogs are really hard for me to hold. And I think it's because their bellies are squishy and you kinda gotta, they like to wriggle around. So you kinda gotta hold on to them a little bit, squeeze them. I don't like doing that. I don't like squishing them. Like it's not hurting, it doesn't hurt them, but I still don't like doing it. So I'm gonna be a big brave girl today and primarily catch them by net, but then at the end, I'm gonna lay on my belly in that water and try to catch a frog by hand. You're welcome. The format's gonna be a little bit different for this video. Frogs don't love being handled at all, really. Neither did the crawfish, but at least you could put them in the bucket and they didn't freak out and they just kind of hung out in there. Frogs, they like to hop around. It's kind of what they do, kind of what they're known for. So to minimize the stress on the individuals here today, I'm going to net catch them. I'm gonna hold them, we're gonna talk about them, I'm gonna tell you some facts, and then I'm gonna release them. I'm not gonna put them in the bucket. I guess let's get rolling, baby. We are fighting weather today. It's a little really cloudy and I've already heard thunder. So I'm hoping we can get this in before it really starts downpouring. But like the frogs don't mind, so I guess what does it matter? So there is a strategy to this. I just walked up, they're all gonna jump in from the shore, but they don't jump in very far. They jump in like a foot down into the silty mud area and then they think they're hidden, but they're not, I can see them. I'm gonna let them jump in when I walk up and then I'm gonna scoop them out and show them to you guys. The primary species of frog in this pond, I believe, is the northern green frog. I'm not a herpetologist, so feel free to check me on that. But I do believe it is a northern green frog. They particularly don't love being held. I'm procrastinating, I don't wanna touch them. I've handled pee, poop, I've dissected all sorts of stuff. I'm doing this for you guys, you're welcome. Oh, I'm literally standing over one. And there we are. That was easier than it should have been. Ooh. This is a male. Here, hang out here, buddy. I'm gonna put my hair up. No, don't jump out. Don't jump out. Don't jump out. Stay, stay, stay. I'm being brave. No. Okay, okay, you're okay. Everyone's okay. This is a male. And we can tell it's a male because look at his beautiful yellow throat, bright yellow throat. And their tympanums, which are kind of like our eardrums, our tympanic membrane, these circles on the sides of their head, those are about twice as big as their eyes. Whereas in the females, their tympanums are about the same size as their eyes. You can see their eyes are gorgeous, this beautiful golden, I don't even know how that pigmentation is produced, but it is so pretty. This guy's pretty small. He may have peed on me, but so that's a male. I'm gonna throw him back, or I'm gonna set him back, I guess. Oh, he's so sticky. I think you could literally ask anyone in the world to draw a picture of a frog and they could probably give you a pretty good approximation. Why is this? That is because frogs are prolific, basically all over the world. So you can find some sort of frog species pretty much all over the world except for polar regions and like super, super dry, desolate deserts in northwestern Africa. Otherwise, you can pretty much find a frog anywhere. Let's get another one, I suppose. I also wouldn't be surprised if there were some bullfrogs in this pond. However, I have not seen one this year. There's two right here. This one's a little bit bigger. Oh, see, so that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna jump in, and then I think I'm gonna scoop them out of the silt. It's a little mess. I want this one because he's really big. No, okay, just kidding, no I don't. Hello? That one was just looking at me. Where is he? That's Mud. Oh, he's so little! Let's talk a little bit about the distinction between frogs and toads. Hate to break it to you guys, but there's no taxonomical difference between frogs and toads. They're the same thing, pretty much. It's basically a colloquial distinction. So generally, when we look at toads, we see a drier skin, wartier, bumpier skin, sometimes a bigger body, and they tend to come from the family Bufonidae, but that's not a hard and fast rule. There are toad species from other frog families. And then when we come to frogs, true frogs, they have a little bit smoother, wetter skin. Brain fart, having a brain fart. Phylum Chordata, they're amphibians. All frogs are amphibians, so they do have to stay wet. Their skin is semi-permeable. So frogs you're gonna find a lot in lakes, ponds, rivers, etc. Toads often do a lot of burying in the dirt. They will bury into the sand to preserve that moisture in their body and get away from the heat during the day. The thing about their semi-permeable skin is, while that does facilitate gas exchange so they can breathe, that makes them extremely vulnerable to pollutants, to temperature fluctuations, to contaminants. Even I made sure my hands were clean because I'm going to be touching these guys. You just have to be very careful because they are very sensitive. Because of that, they are really good indicators for water cleanliness. So like I said, they're extremely sensitive to chemicals, to pesticides, to things that we spray on our fields. You will see a big dying off of frogs, unfortunately, in areas that have a lot of contamination and pesticides. That also makes them very vulnerable to climate change. So I'm gonna catch another one for you. Maybe. This one didn't even move. This species in particular is very territorial. So each individual that I catch is in their own little area around the pond, and they really don't tend to vary much horizontally. They kind of stay in their little zone. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, the females tend to be larger than the males. The males tend to be smaller. I think this is another male. This species, oh God. No! Dude. Okay. He's a male. He's got a yellow throat, got big old tympanums. Look at those legs, beautiful legs. Ooh, so let me show you. You can see that bump in his back right there. That is the top of their pelvic girdle. So frogs are chordates. We are in the phylum Chordata, so they have a spinal cord, much like we do. And they have vertebrae, but they only have vertebrae about halfway through their back because the, oh God. Hello, little guy. I just caught a little, oh, I caught one in my hand. Hello, I am small. Oh, he's very cute. Oh, I don't know what he is. Where'd he go? Come here. Oh, he's on my crock. He's on my crock? What was I talking about? Boink. These guys are chordates. Oh, okay. Fast forward. The bottom half of their spine is specialized into a Euro style. So we have the regular vertebrae at the top of the spine, and then the latter half is just all fused and simplified into one bone that kind of comes to a point. And that goes in the middle of the pelvic girdle. Frogs have an exceptionally exaggerated pelvic girdle. It's very tall. That's understandable because their rear jumping legs are so muscular. You have to have quite a bit of surface area to attach those jumping muscles to. You saw the top of the pelvic girdle sticking out in the back. I'm just kind of making my way around the pond, so we scooted down a little bit to talk to you about, can you see them? They're just sitting there watching us menacingly. Hello? Oh, right there. Hello. These guys are a lot more similar to us than crawfish. Because we're in the phylum Chordata, we have a spinal cord now. Internal organs are much more similar to ours than a crustacean. They excrete they urinate. However, they have a cloaca similar to snakes and many birds. It's a multi-use hole at the bottom of the body, or at the end of the body, so to say. It's used for excretion, it's used for laying eggs, it's used for mating. The life cycle of most frogs is obviously after copulation we have eggs. Our eggs develop into tadpoles, those hatch early spring. Unfortunately, we are past the point in the season. We often in this pond have tadpoles period, but also then you get to see juvenile adults, or like the intermediate phase between tadpole and adult, where they have a tail and legs, which is super cool to see. But unfortunately, they have all developed or have kind of sunk back to the bottom of the pond, which leads into my next fact. Got a rock? I don't got a rock. So at least in this species of frogs, and this may be true of other species of frogs, the tadpoles can either metamorphize within the same year. So they hatch out in the spring, they continue to develop legs and then grow into full-grown adults. Or say if resources are not available or conditions just don't feel right, they can overwinter, remain a tadpole for an entire year, and then metamorphize the next spring, which blew my mind when I read that. Most adult frogs are carnivorous, so you've seen their characteristic long sticky tongue they can use to grab flies and say water boatmen or other prey. However, their tadpoles are generally herbivorous. They eat plant matter and whatever at the bottom of the pond or in the water column. This is proving more difficult than I anticipated. I believe this is a female. Come on, there we go. No! Well, it was a female. This species of frog is highly dependent on a few different unique mating calls. This is just a theory. If you have any clue, comment down below. But my theory is that this species has such a prominent tympanum because they're so reliant on sounds and mating calls to find each other. That's just my theory. Because frogs are so soft-bodied and truly pretty susceptible to predators, most of them have some sort of secrete some sort of chemical on their skin as a defense mechanism. And that can range from bitter to, I'm sure you've heard of people licking toads to hallucinate. They can be hallucinogenic. If your dog has ever gotten a hold of a frog or toad, I'm sure you've seen sometimes it can cause animals to froth at the mouth or get sick. So just don't lick frogs, don't put them in your mouth. Wash your hands after handling frogs. They can carry salmonella, which is also another reason why I don't love touching them. This is kind of a sit and wait activity. They see me coming and they run. As I said earlier, frogs are extremely prolific all over the world. There are thousands of species of frogs distributed mainly amongst 4 different families, I believe. But that gives way to some exceptionally diverse morphology. So I'm sure you've all seen poison dart frogs that live in the rainforest. They are extremely brightly colored and they have very smooth, shiny skin. That coloration obviously is to warn predators that they are poisonous and not to eat them, but sometimes that doesn't work, so then the toxins come into play. And then we come into frogs like this that are blended really well color-wise to hide in their natural habitats because they are primarily predated upon by birds. So their green-brown coloration really helps them blend into the shoreline basically that's green and then into brown. That's precisely what their coloration helps them blend into. There are some extremely large frogs, very teeny tiny tree frogs. They have a lot of peeper tree frogs out here. You can hear them at night calling, especially in spring. But those tend to, like I said, they tend to come out at night and they'll hang out in trees and on your siding and whatnot. There is the African bullfrog, which is a big boy. He's more of a sit and wait kind of predator. They let the food come to them. Okay guys, what the heck? No? Oh my gosh! This is impossible! I think they've been scared away by my frog facts. We're gonna try the stalk method. Oh. They blend so well into the sediment once they jump in that I can't tell what's a frog and what isn't. But I promised you guys frogs, and I'm here to deliver. Hello, don't mind me with my giant net. Oh my gosh. There's a bunch of frog eggs. This is super, super cool. I did not think we were going to be able to see this, but there are frog eggs, like a bunch of frog eggs. They look like little chia seeds. Get in my net, please, thank you. That took for frickin' ever. Calm down, calm down, calm down. Hey, hey, buddy, calm down. Hey, hey, good buddy, hey, 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 yo. See, they really would rather not be held, and I get that. Another male. Look at his beautiful yellow throat and his giant tympanums. Their splotchy little legs and his, he's nice. Look at him. Just kidding. Goodbye. Okay, rude. Some frog species are edible. There's literally a species of frog called the edible frog, but many communities do eat frog legs. Just the legs, I believe. Ooh, the water's cold. That's gonna be really fun to try to get in and catch a frog. Ooh. However, I'm not sure if those frogs are farmed or caught wild. I have never eaten frog legs. I would try them, but I don't know. Kind of makes me feel weird. Okay, I need to catch one more, otherwise I'm gonna feel like a failure. Squeaky shoes. We're back around to the other side of the pond. This is my last shot. I'm gonna give it one more go with the net to try to catch one. And then just for you guys, I'm gonna get in there and try to catch one by hand. I see one. He's way down there. Hello. Yeah. Did I get it? Yes. Oh. Did I? Yes. Yes. Oh, it's a female. There we are. There's our female. You can see her white throat. She is a little pudgier, like her belly. She looks a little thicker. She's more brown. She's dirty, but she's more brown than green. And you can see her tympanum. You can see her tympanum is about the same size as her eye, unlike the males. So there's a little female for you. We're gonna throw her back. Yay, we got our female. Goodbye. Goodbye, good luck. Go away, please. Frogs also have chemical receptors, and they use chemical cues to sense predators, like in the water. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for. I'm gonna get in the water. I'm gonna get in the water and catch a frog. The dangers of this are that there are leeches in this pond, and people have gotten leeches on them recently here. So I fear when I'm laying down in the muck and the mud trying to catch a frog, I may get a leech. And what I say in the last video, you don't want to be a host of parasites. So let's hope that doesn't happen. It's starting to rain, so I think we are wrapping up just in time. On top of being a biologist, I am also a bit of an English nerd. And in my reading, I did find that the word tadpole comes from the Old English word for toad, and it shows that frogs, toads, and tadpoles have been kind of looped into the same genre for a long time. Additionally, frogs are in the order Anura, A-N-U-R-A. The prefix a or an in Latin meaning without, in that last part nura, referring to the tail. So Anura, meaning without tail in Latin, refers to the adults not having a tail as opposed to the juvenile tadpole stage. I'm procrastinating, I'm getting in the water now. And don't worry, I will keep my Crocs on for safety. We gotta get down and dirty. I did it! Oh, no! Did I see it? I did it! Okay, it's really raining. Okay, I did catch one by hand over there, and then it did slip out of my hands. But it is starting to rain, so I moved us under a tree. I think I'm gonna end it here. Again, I super appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate you watching, commenting. As promised in the beginning of the video, I'm gonna give you some sneak peeks into what I have planned in the future. Check for leeches, freak out a little bit. Future videos I have planned. My cousin Nikisha is gonna teach me how to noodle catfish. So that should be a really fun, interesting video. Hope you guys stay tuned for that one. I also plan to do this video doesn't end until I get a bullseye, wherein we're out on private property. I use bow and arrow and try to get a bullseye. I've never shot a bow and arrow before. Maybe once or twice in my life. Video won't end until I get a bullseye. So if you're into that kind of thing, that should be coming in the near future. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.